Hey fellow VOD wearers, it's Angry Turtle and that's another weapon review, the new weapon that we get, Plasma Cutter. It's another melee weapon. This time we are taking a closer look on one-handed weapon. And is it the first one-handed weapon that's actually good? Let's dive in and talk a little bit more about it. First, let's take a look on the possible modifications. And luckily, this time the standard blade is the worst one. Then that what should be always the case. The standard one should be the worst one to give us some reason to buy the modifications. Then for Shocking Blade is basically the same type of the weapon. It's still energy and ballistic damage, but it increases the ballistic damage portion. Then it's basically an upgrade. Then after that we have a Flaming Blade that is doing the flame damage and it's slightly higher than energy option, although most enemies will have higher flame resistance, what will counter that, I think, but we'll test it. And we have Cryo Blade that have the same damage numbers as the Shocking Blade, but will freeze enemies and do the cryo damage, of course. And actually look the coolest. At least in my opinion, it looks the coolest. But we'll start testing with a Shocking Blade, then we'll compare it with some other stuff and we talk a little bit more what this weapon does and what other weapons are not doing. And how it compares with competition, because at this moment melee build can use one-handed, two-handed and unarmed weapons. It can be easily exchanged. There is like no limitation perk-wise. Now another important fact about this weapon. We go into this turret to show you how loud on silent it is, and if you use it, you can see bracket is getting smaller. It's quite quiet weapon. I will not say absolutely silent, but quite quiet. You can compare it with something like Bloodied Deathclaw Gauntlet, and you can see it's the same. It's the same sound level from Bloodied Deathclaw Gauntlet, the same as Bloodied Power Fist, the same as Bloodied Cattle Prod. If we use something like the Staff is similar quiet weapon, a little bit louder. Like Staff is a little bit louder than Plasma Cutter. Outbreaker in this comparison, you can see Outbreaker is slightly louder than Plasma Cutter. Now, as we are here, if we take a look on the damage comparison, like the Farmhand total damage is a little bit over 400, and in the same time, Plasma Cutter is quite close. It's not quite 400, but it is a one-handed weapon. There is an error here, it says slow, but in practice it's medium. I tested that, it's the same as other weapons that say medium. Then it's a medium attack speed, it's not slow. You can see Outbreaker is slow, and this is actually slow. Then I will show you comparison. That's the Outbreaker, 1, 2, and 3 swings. And now the Plasma Cutter, 1, 2, 3. You can clearly see it's faster, then it's a medium speed, not slow. It's less damage than the Outbreaker, but compensated by the swing speed and slightly quieter. Then there is a trade-off. It's not like most other one-handed weapons, they're just weaker. In case of Plasma Cutter, there is a trade-off. Now we'll go back and modify it and see what other modifications can do for us. Oh, in the same time, if you are interested what kind of build I'm using for testing, it's always my standard melee build. There is no weapon-specific perk cards because they're simply not worth it. In case of melee build, they're really not worth it. I don't have any of those. I have Martial Artist and I have Incisor always on. I have some other defensive perks that are very useful. And okay, I was disconnected from the server, then we'll need to kill a couple more super mutants as my damage changed. I was forced to refresh some of my buffs. Then now the Cattle Prod is doing 184, 197. Then let's see how well it will work versus like a level 75 super mutant to have some reference point. Level 75, perfect. Yes, it's like under M after one swing, 2 swings, it's a kill. No power attack required to achieve that. Level 60 with power attack will be 1 hit. Level 100 Doggo with power attack, 1 hit. And that's really good. Okay, now let's try the other mods again. And now we'll be using the flaming mod, and let's see if this extra damage from the flame is worth it. And by the way, on the picture, it doesn't look like there is any flame, it's still green. Okay, level 75, let's see, regular attack. and it's clearly less damage. And fire, there is like, over time, it's 1 pixel of damage, then, yeah, as expected, not worth it. Let's kill one guy with power attack. Yeah, it can still kill with a power attack. Now let's see how cool it will look with the Cryoblade. Let's modify Cryoblade. And now we have cool looking freezing plasma cutter, over 400 damage. At the end we will repeat the test with electrified blade because those damage updated to a little bit higher than when I started. It looked like early when I joined the server. It took it a while to apply all my damage buffs. But yeah, let's try it now. The freezing one. Let's see if we can find any level 75 super mutant, as those are the best for testing. Yep, level 75, and we are doing similar as with the flaming blade, and he's getting slowed down. With power attack level 60 is 1 hit, then flaming again, not worth it. Like, there is no advantage to use the flaming blade. Like freezing one, it's doing the same damage, but at least it slows down enemies. That there is some aspect of the crowd control. There is some trade-off in sacrificing your damage. And with the flame, there is no trade-off. You set them on fire, but that doesn't do anything. Therefore, yeah, there is like no point really. And level 100 with regular attacks, how many times do I need to hit him? 3 hits. Not too bad, not too bad. Now let's put the highest damage blade again and compare with the Cattle Prod directly. Oh, I said electrified before, no, it's a shocking blade. Then we have shocking blade installed again, and we need level 75 super mutant again. That's level 100. Let's see power attack. Oh, we were actually able to somehow one hit him with a power attack. That's nice. And is this level? Yeah, that's a level 75. Regular attack. Under R. Yeah, that's definitely a good damage. That's definitely a good damage as for one-handed weapon. Oh, that's another 100 super mutant. Can we power attack him again? Yes. Surprisingly, this weapon with power attack is good enough to one-hit level 100 super mutant. And level 75 is going under R. Then now we try the Cattle Prod. I have this one that served me as non-legendary for comparison. That's just Ghoul Slayers, but we are fighting super mutants. And let's see, level 75. How close can we get? Oh, it's way less. We actually did way less damage. I don't know if it was accident or it's supposed to be like that. Let's try again. Oh, now it's almost 1 hit. And that will be hard to explain, to be honest. Why am I doing such a crazy high or low damage? So I power attack on this guy. It's not 1 hit. Okay, level 60 with the Cattle Prod. Okay, that was expected. I don't know how this extra damage was coming from before. Now I'm doing again like damage that I would expect. Level 60 power attack. Cannot even put down level 60 with power attack. Okay, again, okay, nice, level 75, hit him normally, and it was quite high damage. I think sometimes the Cattle Prod must register as a headshot or something, as I cannot explain it otherwise. Okay, let's see this guy. Okay, now it's way less damage. And one more. Yeah, it's 2 hits. Now let's grab again. Plasma Cutter, electrified one, the highest damage, level 75. It is consistent. It's hitting consistently for the same damage, level 1. Oh, now 1 hit at level 100. I think melee weapons sometimes need to register a headshot, even though I'm aiming low. I'm just trying to hit the torso. It must be registering headshots, and it's not consistent with the damage numbers, as those are not reflecting any headshots, although I need to be doing them, as there's no way to explain it otherwise. But from the lower damage hits that we assume it was a torso hit, then electrified plasma cutter is doing more damage than Cattle Prod. Yeah, it's definitely doing more damage for a torso. For a head, it's suddenly one hitting anything, basically. Then, yeah, it's better than a Cattle Prod. Yes, it's consistently better. And definitely more consistent than a Cattle Prod. Cattle Prod was doing some crazy action sometimes. But that will about conclude our testing. Clearly, Plasma Cutter is a winner. It's better than a Cuttle Prod. It's doing very well. As a one-handed weapon, I'm surprised that you can squeeze some nice damage out of it, and it does look cool. Plus, it's actually working as intended. Mods are increasing damage. Apart from a flaming one that's, I don't know, it's like unwanted kit from Bethesda. They don't want to touch it. They don't care. They just did a visual and they don't care that it doesn't do much in regards of damage, and it's not valuable option regardless of what weapon you are using. Just flaming mod if you don't want to do damage and you want a flame animation. That's basically, I think, the only reason someone would use a flaming mod on any weapon at this moment, on any weapon. It doesn't even give you the healing. Like, mod is not connected with friendly fire. Even if you put this flame damage, it's not working with friendly fire. You need to have a shish kebab if you want to use friendly fire with your one-handed build. Then shish kebab still stays. And that's what I wanted to say about this Plasma Cutter, the new one-handed weapon that is actually cool and nice addition, only if we could get it easier as a legendary version. At this moment, almost impossible to get a good legendary. But now, as always, thank you a lot for watching, and see you guys in the next one.